Hey friends, it's Amber from Gear Glasses and Gadgets, and today we are talking with El-Deane from Sony Digital Imaging all about the new 6500. Okay, so are you recording?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like short today.
How could you feel short? You live with him.
I know. I don't know why. Okay, are you ready? Okay. No, you go down. This is highly anticipated for us. I want to get my hands on this.
Oh, get your hands on it.
Okay. So, of course, all of our subscribers know that we absolutely love the 6300. Can you walk us through some of the new changes of the 6500?
Okay, there's some significant changes. Obviously, you see it looks and feels, actually it feels a lot better. It looks almost exactly the same, right? The size is almost exactly the same. So if you're used to using the a6300, it's going to be very easy to step into the a6500 because everything's in the same place and you're going to have basically the same experience, except there's a couple of other things. So one of the primary things that we added to the camera is in-body 5-axis image stabilization inside this tiny little body, like we have on the full-frame, A7 Mark IIs, which is incredible, which I'm super stoked about. I'm really happy about that. The other thing is the touchscreen. So a lot of people have been asking, why do we have touchscreen? We now have touch focus. And the really, really cool feature is when you use the electronic viewfinder, as you bring it up to your eye, you can actually drag your finger around and you can see your focus point in the viewfinder dragging around. So you can actually use the viewfinder while using the touch focus. So that's really exciting. One more thing that we added into it, we have a new LSI for processing, pre-processing before it hits the Beyond X processor. And what that does is it adds a huge buffer to the camera. So now we can shoot at 24 megapixels, JPEG and RAW combined, uncompressed, at 11 frames a second, and this little sucker just keeps on going.
What are some of the great features for someone like us who's looking for a lower priced camera to shoot video with? Like the video features, functionalities of it?
Absolutely. So I was hoping we we're going to get to video pretty soon. All right, so as anticipated, it's obviously going to have 4K video, right? So still the same 4K XAVCS codec. It still uses the full sensor, the full width of the sensor, for no pixel binning, no line skipping or pixel binning. So essentially, it's a 6K sensor, which then oversamples that image, right? No line skipping or pixel binning. Oversamples that 6K image and then records it or saves it as a 4K file on your SDXC card. Extremely sharp, extremely detailed 4K video because of the oversampling. It's an incredible little video camera. And like all the other cameras that we have with the 4K, this can do clean HDMI out. So if you're going to be using something like a 4K Pixie or an Atom Shogun or well, a number of their products that they have out there right now. So any of the 4K recorders, you can get an uncompressed 422 8-bit 4K image straight out of the HDMI cable, which is incredible.
Tell me about the focus system for video functionality, because that's a little bit different now too.
Correct. So as we said, it has touchscreen. It's great that you can touch and focus. So imagine shooting in video now. That touchscreen works exactly the same way. If I'm going to be using the viewfinder, I can actually drag my finger across and pull my focus from one point to the other one. Or if you're in interviews or you want to pull a focus or do a focus pull, you essentially can now touch the screen and do a focus pull that way, which is super exciting because I've always wanted that on these cameras. Yep.
Yeah. I am super impressed. It definitely feels weightier in your hands, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. It's a little weightier, and I think that's a great thing, actually.
It is. So, obviously these cameras are super small and lightweight. Yeah. With the in-body 5-axis image stabilization, a little bit of a beefier grip. Now, we did the beefier grip specifically from consumer feedback, right? People want a little bit of a beefier grip. So it's a slightly bigger grip. The body size is the same though. And then we've got this matte alloy finish, it feels gorgeous. It actually feels luxurious. It really is a nice feel to the camera.
I got a question. What do you say to people who think that Sony is being too quick with releasing these cameras?
I got a lot of that on the show floor this time. Typically there's a larger gap in between models. But there's also a bigger demand at the moment, and there's a lot more people wanting to do different things. And I think with the opportunity of putting in 5-axis image stabilization, those folks might say, well, why would we wait if we had that technology now? The other thing is the LSI chip was recently developed that we can put into the A99 Mark II camera as well that shoots at 12 frames a second. In the RX100 Mark V, which shoots at 24 frames a second in JPEG and RAW, which is incredible. They both have incredible 4K features. Why not put it into the a6300? Give it image stabilization, give it touchscreen. So yes, it is pretty soon on the heels, but technology as we're developing it, we want to respond to our customers and we want to respond to consumers' needs. And this is what people are asking for. They're asking for stabilization, they're asking for a higher buffer, which they have now, and they're asking for touchscreen for videos and stills. So we have it.
Yeah. Well, it's no secret to our subscribers that we absolutely love the 6300, and I think that the new additions to the 6500 are just going to make our lives easier for sure, especially with the stabilization for those of us who have little shaky hands. So I'm really excited to be able to get to use non-stabilized lenses with it as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh yes, me too. Yep.
As we were playing with the camera a little bit back in the back, I noticed that there is a new feature called slow and quick motion. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So basically slow and quick motion is just variable frame rates. So normally you'd set your frame rate at 24p, 30p, 60p, or 120p. And if you're going to be shooting at 120p, you're actually shooting quick but fast action or fast frame rate with the intention to slow down for slow motion, right? So basically what slow and quick motion is the ability to change your frame rate. So normally you'd have to choose a frame rate like 24, 30, 60, or 120p depending on what resolution you're at. And that's then used to either shoot normal video or to slow it down for slow motion. So if you're shooting 120p, you can slow it down and put a slow motion shot in. Now if you're doing time lapse, for instance, you're going to be shooting at very, very slow frame rates, 1 or 2 frames every second, and then put them together in in post-production. Now with slow and quick, it allows you to do a variable frame rates, and you can select anything from 1 frame a second up to 120 frames a second, and I think there's 9 different increments. So you can then set the camera, and it's capturing video, but in either slow or quick motion to either speed up time during a time lapse or slow things down for slow motion.
And does it do it in the camera, or do we have to slow it down in post?
No, that's the beauty. So it actually does it in the camera. So you can choose your frame rate, and it's going to record that video at that frame rate. So when you play it back, you'll play it back at normal speed, but it'll play back obviously at over a long period of time, or it'll compress it down to very fast action over a long time, or slow over a long time.
Perfect. So that's just another tool that we can use on a wedding day if you want to speed something up very easily or slow it down. That's a great feature for filmmakers for sure.
Absolutely. It makes it much easier. It's done in camera. Once you go to your edits, it's already done. You don't have to worry about doing it later on.
Awesome. All right, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, check out all things Sony and
alphauniverse.com.
alphauniverse.com.
#SonyAlpha.
All of that stuff. And thank you so much for watching, and LLAP friends. El-Deane, what is your favorite movie?
Well, this year I've really enjoyed watching Women with Sticks.
I don't know what that movie is.
It's an interesting film about sticks in faces. Now what we've given has been all right.
Cut.
Did I say that wrong? Cut.